Hello, welcome back to the grind. Here I am back again with the Hillman Super Minx 1963 variety. So this week was getting some brakes into the front wheels and took them apart, cleaned up, made the calipers so they're working. I didn't take them apart completely because I didn't want it to ruin anything on the inside of them. So they seem to work now. It seems I got them running and they seem to work. I put in new brake pads on the front here and new lines everywhere. That's a new line, that's a new line. That's the original line, which is still okay. But and then this line here, which I've got blocked off, that's for the rear, which we don't have rear brakes yet, but that's okay. We can't have everything. Then I hooked after all that, which was quite a long involved thing, I hooked on the drive shaft and started it up and ran it through the gears. And I think it's 3-speed gears, 3 speeds, and reverse. So it's upside down and backwards of everything that in North America. In North America, the 3-speed on the column, you go pull it ahead and down for first, center, pushed ahead, and up for second, and then straight back down for third. And then reverse was up, right opposite first gear and pushed up. This one here, reverse is push forward and down. Then I haven't really figured out where first is. I think that first is pulled in and up, second is straight down, and third is opposite reverse. So not really sure on that, but we'll maybe I'll read the book and find out. I have a book somewhere. Wonder where I hid that book. Yeah, there, I see it. I'll get the book and I'll read about the gears. That'll be something interesting to do. Anyway, so hope you enjoy it. Stick around, you'll see what we did. I'm babbling away here because it was actually things are working. It's coming to life. Even the brake light works. So, well, one brake light on that side works. So all the electrics work and the fuel system works now because, yeah, now this thing here is working. I've got that fixed. Now, did I fix that on this round? Yeah, I think I did, because the fuel pump was not working and I took it out and I found out it was broken on the inside and I had to do a little bit of welding on some of the interior pieces to make it work again. So yeah, that's another thing. That's why this is so long. Fuel pumps. So we got fuel system, we got brake system, we got hot water system, we got electrical system. That's a whole car. So anyhow, hope you enjoy it all. Stick around and I'll quit babbling now and you can go take a look and see what they did. Okay, here it is. New day. On it again. That's the voltage regulator there. I'm going to take that apart and well, there's the fuse box there. Also going to do some cleaning up on that. Actually, it looks like it's not in bad shape. I'm pretty sure I'll check and see that the connection goes from top to bottom and bottom to top. Then I'll chase down this brown wire here, which I don't know what it does, but I'll chase it down and see what it does. And then I'll see if I can get the some sort of action in the voltage regulator so that the generator light turns off. And I also have to put this bolt in here one of these days. Well, I'm going to do that one of these days. Okay, that's coming up. Yeah, here I am in the electrics, right? Let me see if I can get there. So this massive fuse box here, this circuit is live whether the key's on or key's off. This circuit's live when the key is on. So where's my test light? Here it is. So key's off right now, and there's power to this side of the voltage regulator coming from the battery over right there, where it comes from. This also had, like, there's the this wire here, the same way it was hooked on poorly. I'll tape that up. So this has got power on both sides of that. This one, the key's off right now, but I'll turn the key on and then see there's no power there right now. Hang on, I'll go turn on the key. So that there, now I've got the key turned on, and now there's power to this side here and to this side here of that fuse. So the two fuses have the power going to them. This fuse here gives power to the this has got, like, it just pulses there now, but what's happening now, it thinks that it's getting power to the it provides power to that sensor in here, and that being the temperature sensor. And when the temperature sensor, like when I grounded it there, it went up. See, it's ungrounded now, so it's going back down. So that seems to be that the temperature gauge is working. So as long as the sensor is working correctly, it should show a temperature when the car is running. Now I don't want to start it just yet. Next thing, well, now that like that, those things are set, I don't know whether they have anything to do with the charging of it all. So this comes from that generator there. Maybe I'll start it up and see if it's generating anything yet. You never know. Now that those things are cleaned up, it might clean up the generating act. Now the key's on. I wonder if the horn will work now. How do you like that, eh? Horn works. I wonder if then you have these, oh, lights blinking. What the hell is going on here? The blinker's working. And that tail light, this tail light's not working, I think because there's no wires hooked up to it. Yeah, it'd be difficult with wires unhooked. That's getting interesting. That blinker doesn't. Oh, there, the blinker's off now. Not blinking on that side. Yeah, cool. Well, there you go. More stuff happens. More stuff coming to life. Wonder if the fan for the, I bet you the fan for the heater works now too. Just check it out and see. Well, amazing how much stuff comes back to life when you do a little bit of work on it. Ouch. Nothing there. Nothing there. Wipers. The wipers are working, going back and forth. Screen or maximum. Don't know. So it's got wipers, no heater motor yet. That'll come along, I'm sure. Lights do something with, I think that's off. Not sure. Check it out. Oh, such a thing to reach into and out of here. Yeah, that's off. So that'd likely be parking lights, which I'm pretty sure is right. Yeah, that light's on. None on this side yet, but that'll come. And then this one here would be headlights, but there are no headlights there because, well, they're all over on the ground there. Yeah, so that light's still on. So things are right there. The switches are working okay, except for the heater. I don't know how to run the heater. I've got a book. Maybe it'll tell me. Cool. Horn works. Cool. Isn't that something? Now, maybe I'll start it up and see if the generator's working. Give me a minute to get it set here. Generator light's still on. I think that the water gauge is working. We'll wait, let it warm up a bit. I'll give it a bit of a rev. See if that light goes out. I can actually do that from inside the car. Oh, I locked the door. Door locks work. Oh, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh. Yeah, so the generator light's still on. Oh, that's not generated yet. And that amp gauge didn't move an inch. I'll give it a few minutes to see if the water warms up. Amazing, the flasher works. Okay, I'll be back with you in a few minutes. Yeah, looks like the temperature gauge is going up, so that works. The amp gauge is wavering, so maybe it's because the blinker light's on. Anyway, I guess I'll take a look at inside this regulator here. It all seems to be running, so getting closer to being a live car. Yeah, there. Temperature gauge works. Now the only thing I have to do with it working is the alternator or generator. Cool. So the temperature gauge is all up, and that says 37, 75, so that's pretty well normal operating temperature. Okay, I'm gonna run out of fuel pretty quick here, so I'll shut it off. Use a lot of gas, that thing. Yeah, so that pipe is leaking coolant right there, and it's also leaking coolant back there. That's why I tightened down the cap and pressurized it. So if you pressurize it, you get leaks. So those pipes all get changed. I do have the did I show you that? I have the this is the part that goes into the water heater for that pipe for the heater. Anyhow, or the water pump for that pipe for the heater, which I have blocked there right now. Okay, now next is what's next? That thing there. I'll see what I can do about making that thing there work. Where am I? I can't really see it. There's too much stuff in the way. These two big brown wires, they're easy to find. So that's brown with yellow on that connector, green on that connector, brown with yellow down on the next connector, and black on the bottom connector. So if I can remember that, that'll be good. Okay, this one here is a ground, That one there is a brown and yellow. That one is the field, what I'd call the field wire if it was an alternator. This one is another brown and yellow. These two here are big browns. This one here goes to the alternate, the generator, big power. Okay, now I'll take this cover off. There might be just some points in there that needs cleaning up. Yeah, so here now, those points right in there look pretty crusty. So I'll very carefully take this. This is an adjustable thing. I'll measure that. What's it on there now? I'll measure that gap and make it the same. And then clean them up. These things here, I'll check them and see if they need some cleaning. Don't want to change those. I don't want to change the adjustment on them, but we can certainly get a little file in there and clean up behind that. And that should be able to fix that. Well, have a look at it anyhow. Can't hurt it. Well, I can hurt it. I can completely ruin it, which I can do with a lot of stuff, but we'll give it a go. See what I come up with. Okay, hang on. Yeah, there now. I cleaned that up in between there with a emery cloth. I loosened that back so I could get an emery cloth in there. Then I tightened it back down to the same height. So now if you go, I don't know if you can hear this. Can you hear that? Anyhow, can you see it? Yeah, likely. So that, now this one here, no contact, contact, no contact, contact. This one here, where's that supposed to be? From here to here, no contact, contact, no contact, contact. So that seems to, as long as everything else is working in there, and I think it is, I think this was dirty and it wasn't getting connection. So we'll put it back in, see what happens. Yeah, there we're running again, and still no generation in the generator here. Doesn't seem to be anything coming off the machine. Like here, that's just turn the light on, or that just turn the light on. See if I can jump that across. So now, here.
If I jump from here,
I'll go from this one to this one. I'll show you what's happening here. If I can get it. Let me get set up here. So now I'm going to go across those two posts. Can you see that? It says 12.95, so it's definitely charging, or there's power coming out of that thing there. So I don't think the battery has 12.95. Let's just go over and check on the battery and see what we have there. At the battery. So yeah, I was getting half a volt coming off the machine there. So the generator is working. This voltage regulator, maybe I've got some wires wrong somewhere. I'll find out what that other brown wire is supposed to do. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, the good news is the temperature gauge is definitely working. I'll get underneath the dash and see where that brown wire goes. Maybe I have it jiggled into the amp gauge somehow the wrong way. In the meantime, they delivered. So these are the flexi hoses, right? They came. That's the short cable for the brake, which is broken on it. This is for split pins and retainers for the brake pads, which are here. Wheel lug nuts and some bolts, and these are the covers for the tie rods and rear brake drum cylinders. So I guess the week all of a sudden got busy here. I watched some videos on Moss Motors. This side here, the natural position of this, they should be closed, so it should have like a I don't know if you can listen closely, you'll hear. That's open. That's natural. Natural position for this one is open, which you can see right in there. It's very open. This one here regulates the electricity. This one here sends the regulated electricity from the generator to the charging system. So when you get around 1500 RPM, this thing here will buzz, will close, and then that one there will start working, we hope. But I'll stick it on the car and just see if it'll run. When it runs, this one should be buzzing, and this one should be closed when it's generating, when it's when the power is going through it properly. Okay, so whatever I did, that set of points has to be closed naturally. It was sitting open. And then when that's closed, then this one here will pull on that to charge it. So it should be charging now. In fact, the ignition light's gone off. Can't really tell from the ammeter because it's backwards still. I'll unhook this. Put it down there. Now it should be some voltage there going to the... I'll get my voltage regulator on here and see what's going on. There we go. We got 13.13 volts coming through on that. So generator's working. This thing here is working properly. I'll just rev it up and see if we get overcharged or anything. Success! That's only luck, not anything but luck. So I'll put the cover back on the voltage regulator, and I'll go and look at the ammeter and see if it changes anything when I hit the gas. Oh, too many stuff here. Well, that makes me, that's encouraging that that works. The ammeter is looking downward a bit there right now. It's working. That's good. Like I went to the negative side because I've got to change the wires on the back of the ammeter because I've done a polarity switch on this thing to make it so it's now positive. Now it's a negative ground car. I changed the polarity on the generator. Everything else seems to work all right. Very cool. And the temperature is coming up. So, and I found the switch for the fan on the heater and it works. I'll show you that sometime. It's hidden underneath the dash. Well, you know what? Now we have a car with an electrical system, we have a car with a cooling system, we have a car with a clutch. Next is brakes, so that'll be tomorrow's thing. Okay, that's good, I'm happy.
Should. Doesn't seem to be sucking fuel properly. It was yesterday fine, but
There must be a leak in the line or a leak somewhere that it's sucking air.
doing something wrong anyhow.
So I'm gonna leave it for today. It's enough for today anyhow. I'll come back again tomorrow. But tomorrow, like I'll get the fuel system figured out eventually. If I have to, I'll just put a electric pump on it. But I don't want to put too much of a pump on it because that'll overflow on this. It'll make it too tough on this. Anyway, but that's later. Right now, we'll get by with what we have here. And now I'll get more light here because I'm back again today. Now where's my light? Here it is. Hang on. Okay, so I did the procedure to change the polarity of the generator down here. So this was started its life as a positive earth machine, and I wanted to change it to a negative earth machine just because, well, no, for no particular reason, just because. And so the way that to change the starter motor's fine. It doesn't care which way the energy goes as long as energy goes. The voltage regulator is fine. It doesn't care what way the energy goes. Anything that works, like lights and all that, they don't care which way the energy goes. The only thing that cares is the coil, which I'll get to in a minute or two, and the generator. The generator, you have to change the polarity on it. So the way to change the polarity on it is to hook up your battery the way when you get everything hooked up the way you want it to be. Negative to that's a negative side going to the earth, positive going to the starter and the system. Then there'll be power coming into here on these. Here's, I don't know, can you read that thing? It says A, F, D, and E. So E is earth, okay? D is to the big connection on the generator. F is the field connection, which is this brown and white, this wire. A, and A are all power to the system. Like one of them goes over to the fuse box, one of them goes into the car, all the places where power goes to. Now, yesterday I did explain the inside of this thing, well, not very well, but one side is the regulator, the other side is the thing that makes power come backwards on it, right? Or power come to this to charge the system, and then it goes in and regulates it here. It's all magic box stuff there that I don't really know, but I do know that this field wire is what signals the generator to start producing energy. So if the field wire is energized, then this gets energized back to here, and then this goes, and the little points on the what we call the top side, the A side here, they open and close to regulate how much electricity comes off the generator, which if it was an alternator, it might be 500 volts coming off of there, but they have systems that like this that regulate how much energy is allowed to go past. You don't want too much going past because it'll burn up the battery and might burn up the rest of the car, who knows. Anyway, that being said, here, so to change the polarity on that from a positive ground on the generator, from a positive earth to a negative earth, you all you have to do is see this thing here that's got power. Check and see which one's got power. The A should have power all the time anyhow. So you take a jumper wire, hook it on right here, and then just like what I did was I pulled that brown and this wire here, the brown and green one, which is the field wire. I just pulled that off there. Then I touched very gently with my jumper wire onto that
connect in there, and it sparked. So I did it again, and it sparked, and then I figured that's done, and that was done, and then I hooked it up, and it's indeed producing electricity the right direction now anyhow. So everything's working well, and it's producing 13 volts, and the light goes off on the inside there and everything like that, so it's a happy system. Now, is that explained enough or too much? I wonder. Now, the other thing we're going to talk about is the points and this coil. This is the I think the original coil that came in a car, or else, you know, but it's got a you can't really see very well, but right here it says CB, and down on there it says SW. Let me get the light. Maybe you can see it. Maybe you can see. I don't know. Get the light and see. This car does produce an awful lot of video. There you can see the CB on the top here fairly clearly, right there. And then down in here, you can't see it very well, but take my word for it, it says SW down there. When it comes out of the factory with it being a positive earth machine, CB goes to the points. But when you change the polarity around, what you want to do is, like, coils kind of work backwards because they pull from negative to the positive for the spark, and that way you get a bigger spark. And really can't say why, but it seems to be the better spark comes when it's coming towards you instead of going away from you. Anyhow, that's not very well explained, but that's how I understand it. So in this case here, CB is the plus side and SW is the negative side. So the negative goes to the coil, which is down here, and goes to the point. The positive, which is CB, originally the negative went to here, but now the positive goes to here because it's now a negative ground system. Okay. Anyhow, there you go. That's CB. When you change around, gets to be the positive side, and SW gets to be, see, this CB stands for contact breaker, right? And SW stands for switch, which would be the switch in the car turning it on and off. So you get them, they go upside down now because that's when you change the polarity on it. That's how you do it. That's all that cares is the coil and the generator. The rest of the car doesn't care if it's positive or negative or upside down. Anyway, there you go. That's too much knowledge, eh? I don't have that much knowledge anyhow, so anything I say, don't take it too seriously. It might not be right.
Get this stuff out of the way. Okay, right down where my finger is here, that's a banjo fitting onto this fuel pump, and there's another fitting here, so I got two fittings there that are both leaking a bit of air, so it's not sucking very well. It sucks. So I went over to the lathe. Now these fittings, they aren't deep enough to go in and push. I made a bubble flare on here, but the fittings weren't deep enough to push it in all the way, so I went and made a little spacer out of aluminum on the lathe, and it seems to seal it up all right. I'm going to try that out and see how that works. It comes up against the back of that bubble flare, and then this thing here can go in and push against it. Now it may not be, maybe I need a bit deeper one than that. We'll just check it out and see. What have I got going on here? You can't see very well down there, but I've got that in, and it seems to be holding back the flood, so not leaking fluid. I've got the fluid up high here so that, and it's turned on, so if it's going to leak, it's going to leak. I'll give it a little while and just see if it does leak. Yeah, it's leaking. What's leaking now? Is it this part here? Is it that part there? Let me double check. Now I tightened up the fitting a bit, and then I tightened up that clamp a bit, and it seems to have stopped the leak. Don't know if it was leaking from the clamp or if it was leaking from the other thing, but anyway,
seems to be clean now. I'll start it up and then I'll see if it dies as soon as I drop that down here. See what happens. Yeah, I think it's charging all right. And yeah, the red light's off over here. Slow down, Blake. Oil's okay. Seems to be running. Well, I'm going to let it run for a little while. Then I'm going to take this off here and put it down here and see if it stalls. Here we go. Now, yesterday when I put this down below, it would run for just a few minutes and then it would quit. They're out of fuel anyhow. So there it quit. So I think that it's not getting fuel pumped up to it for whatever reason. Yeah, there's still a bit of a leak there. Hey, maybe the fuel pump isn't, maybe I've got something bad wrong in the fuel pump. I'll have to take it apart and take a look at it. Oh, who knows. Anyway, that's enough of that for today. I won't worry about that anymore.
Maybe it just ran out of fuel here. Yeah, it did run out of fuel here.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, lots of fuel in here now. And it's running. So I'll just pull this off, put it down below and just see what happens. Looks like it's going to be quick. Yeah, so it runs out of fuel. So, something wrong with the fuel pump. It's more than just leaking air. So what I'll do is let it cool off for a while, and then I'll take the fuel pump off again and just see what's going on there. Okay. There, now I suspect that the valves aren't opening and closing properly, or they're opening all right. I think they're not closing properly. I'll check into that. Yeah, it seems that here we are. I've got this. I just took the top off. I didn't have to take the whole thing off. Took the top off from inside there, and I think that that valve isn't closing right. I'll just check it out. Take it out and check it out. So it's not the valves. The valves are okay. It's this thing here is still on the wrong side of the cam or broken or something. I'll take it apart, take it off and see what I can figure out, because it's not doing what it's supposed to do. I'm going to have to take the battery out and take the battery tray out of the way so I can actually work on it more easily. That'd be the right answer. Okay, I'll do that. Now, when I held that down with my finger and turned the motor over with the starter, and it didn't move up and down, so it's not like it's not engaging properly down there somewhere. So it just by luck that it was pumping anything before. Yeah, so it wasn't anything to do with this part. This part here is okay. The something going on here. There's this little piece of metal came out of there. Now, it seems to be pumping okay if you do that, but there used to be a spring in there. This spring here. Don't know what it was supposed to do, but I think that it was supposed to do something. I'm going to put it in the car like this without the spring and see what happens. Kaput. yeah, so that thing there is just not working at all. That I don't know whether they broke something on the cam or else, but I think it's this thing here. I think it should be there and then start actuating. So it's got to be. I'll take it apart and just see what's going on with it. That's what it used to look like. I don't know if you can see that or not. Those two pieces there would be like. Wait till I set up the camera. Whoa, hang on. Sorry about this. I should be more prepared. Hey. Yeah. It's past quitting time already. Here, have a look down here now. Over this way. Come down over this way. So this piece here will go in there and hit up against that, and that would. Can you see that anyhow? But hit up against that, and that would push on the. Oh, there you go. Push on the lever. Now, can I fix that? Don't know. Maybe I can. That'd be kind of fun to try anyhow. These two washers go on the outside of it like that, and then this pin comes through it, and then the spring goes on right there. So all the pieces are there, just a matter of none of the pieces fell into the motor anyhow. Okay, well, I'll have a try at that tomorrow. I'll see if I can very gently weld that. Make it work again. Well, here I am, back again to see if I can fix up the fuel pump, right? This thing here, it used to be, there was a bridge across here, about like that. So I'll put that on there, and then trim it off, and like I'll weld that on there and trim it off, and then see what it looks like after I'm done. Okay, give it a try. Back together, so this will push on there at the right height, I hope. Amazing. I can see on the back side there where it used to hit, and it's hitting in the same spot, so might be okay. Let's give it a try. Back to what it used to be there. So now I'll work on sealing up that so that it doesn't leak anymore. There, I got the pump all back together. Let's see if it'll
Bring fuel up from below. I'll just open that, right?
then I'll set you up here. And let's see what happens here. Yeah, that's working. Whoop! Oh boy, that works. Okay. So now I'm going to let it set for a while and see if it's going to leak anywhere. Okay, I'm happy with, whoops, nothing leaking so far. I'll just let it set for a while. See what happens. I'll put it down here. Down on the lower level below. Oh, that's gonna lose fluid there. Maybe I'll pour that fluid in here. That'll be fine. Whoop, that just goes right through the pump. There's no stopping it when it's above it. So now I can't tell. You didn't see any of that. I'll just leave it here. Okay, I'll let that sit for a bit to see if this thing is going to leak. And no leaks. And so I figured I'd give this the $2 overhaul. A little bit more right there. I took it outside and sprayed it outside, but there. that'll make it good for another 40 years off of it, and blew the fuel back into that tank. Now I'll see if I can, I'll put a little bit of gasket goop on here, and then I'll get it installed. We hope.
Not leaking there anymore. It was, of course, and this one here is dry. So it's good everywhere. Connections for the fuel are good. Now I'm going to, I pulled out a couple of the brake lines. There's one. Here's where it goes in, there's where it goes in. I got them out all right. There's that one, which is fairly simple. That goes from there to this tire. I've got the back blocked off for now, so I think I'll go ahead and see if I can get the front brakes working, and then I'll tackle the back brakes another time. I have to take the calipers off and just see what's going on there. I'll take a look and see. Yeah, I got this caliper off. The brake shoe is a little bit pitted, hey? I don't think it's really worn that much, it's just pitted, so I'll see if I can get it cleaned up. I have to get this all apart later. These bolts here came out very difficult. I had to put heat to both of them, and that one on the top was really difficult. It stripped off everything, and then I had to jam on a 15 millimeter, so I'll have to get new bolts. This one here's made it through all right. Anyway, now over to here, I've got the caliper here. I closed this, put some air to that, and this side here opened, so that's a start. Haven't got this side here to open yet, and I just leave the but these things here might be seized in there and creating it not to open. Okay, I'll if I can get them to open and close, I'm not gonna take it apart. They're fine. So I'll just see if I can get these split pins out, get this stuff all out of here, and see if I can get those calipers to start moving. Yeah, there, I got that caliper sort of back to life here. I'll see if I can flush some fluid through it somehow or other. I'll figure it out. But the I've been just holding one side and putting air pressure to the other side till they come out. I'll show you. Hang on a second. I'll get set up. I'll leave that one out the way it is right now. Now I've got this C-clamp just holding that from coming out anymore, and I got my air pressure, my air gun, and that's the inlet for the brake right there. That's about as far as I want them to come out, because the if they come out any farther, I'll be popping them past the seals. I guess it can come a little bit more. Hey? Right around there. Then by that time the brakes are wore out. So I'm going to call that they're working all right. I'll see if I can get some brake fluid to flush through there. Just using WD-40 on the outside here. It's fair. WD-40 is pretty benign. It doesn't hurt too much of anything. So now, see if I can get some brake fluid to go through here and out here, and that'll flush them through. I think that's actually another brake flush right there, but I don't know that I want to try and pull that out of there or not. Then you can split the caliper by taking this bolt out, but I certainly don't want to do that, because then I'd be looking for trouble. There's seals in here that they say once you take them split apart, you're not supposed to use them again, eh? But that's a rule that I break fairly often, or a rule that I break not fairly often, but sometimes I break that rule. Anyway, that caliper seems to be working, so we'll put some. I think we'll have brakes that work pretty soon. Hang on, we'll just get at it.
Yeah, so the replacement ones are just a bit longer than the original ones. I guess I got to do some grinding. I'll get these fitted. Yeah, there, that's got new shoes in there, and these fit now. They're about 1/8 of an inch too long, so they must be for some other model. Hopefully there's enough room in there for the disc to go through. I'll just get it back up on there, and then I'll see if we can get some brakes going. I'll get the other side out. I'm not going to do anything with these yet, because that's a whole nother month of work right there. Anyhow, but what I want to do is just get it so I can drive it around in the yard and move it around, because I want to do got some other projects that I want to get on here before too long, and I got to do some thinking about this one, because this needs some repair here. Anyway, I'll see if I can get I'll get this on here, and that'll be it for today. You want to watch what I'm doing here? I don't know whether you can see. Let me just put you up on here. It might be kind of boring, but we'll see what happens. Might be exciting too. Oh yeah, lots of room to get the disc on there. Then I gotta get that up into that spot there, and that down into that spot there, and don't you know that's done. Holy shit. I'm just gonna line this one in a bit. If I can find it where it goes. Yeah. The other one I have to fix, so I'll do that. Well, I'll shut you off for a minute. I'll do it now. Yeah, so what I cleaned it off, and I grinded it up so that it would fit into a 15 millimeter socket, and then I rethreaded it, or cleaned up the threads on it. So hopefully we'll have something that works here. Yeah, this is me looking around for where I put down the wrench, right? And like right in front of me, here it is. It is right in front of me. I gotta loosen this one out a tiny bit. So I can get that other one started. Don't want to use the power wrench on this until it gets turning in. There. That's getting closer. That one's on. So they naturally take a 5/8, but that one there was rounded off. That one's on. Wheel turns. Huh. Oh, here, let me have a look here. So the wheel turns in there. And these pistons were working, so we'll have to get lines onto it. So tomorrow I'll get the other one done tomorrow, and then we'll get some lines made, and then see if we got brakes. And if we have brakes, I'll hook up the drive shaft and see if we can drive the damn thing, right? Okay, here I am, back for another day. Well, actually pretty late started today. Had to go to town and get welding gas and everything like that. Busy day today in the other world, and the Vivor people came along. and I got this tent blew over here. It used to be a tent and used to be an old cover for the boat. So I've got a new cover for the boat for this winter, and just to keep most of the weather out of it. What'll happen is snow will come and it'll settle in the middle there and pull it all down, but I'll endeavor to do something about that when the snow comes. Anyway, not going to worry about it right now. That'll just keep the water out of it for the winter. Now back to the what do they call this? This is the task at hand, which is this guy here. And it comes with a nice little stuff bag to put the thing in afterwards. Plus, this is a motor cover, which I didn't have to use because it's enough fabric there to cover the motor already. Okay, now I might use the motor cover next summer to keep the bird poop off it, right? That'd be a good idea. Anyway, there's where am I now? I'm here, and I'm going to do the other brake, get this caliper freed up and working, and I don't know what's going to happen, right? But if nothing outwards happens or nothing bad happens, I'll just do it, and I'll show you when I get it done. If I break something, I'll show you what I broke. An hour for me, about a couple of seconds for you, hey? So that's back together, and both pistons are moving. They don't move that easily, but I think they'll loosen up as they get used a bit. We'll just see what happens. Maybe they move easy enough. Who knows, hey? The brake line that came out, it was a little bit rusty here, and it broke at the end when I was taking it apart, so I'll just do it like this. Now I haven't made that curve at the end here yet because I have to put the fitting on before I can make that curve. And then I'll just curve that around something that is the same sort of curve. But Rusty Beauties, he goes and tapes the old one next to the new one and then follows along that way. And it seems to work pretty good. I'll show you as I get along. Yeah, there it goes. So that's pretty close to the same thing. And I'll put the ends on, and then I'll twist these around because there's a tight corner at the end of it. So that's the one for the driver's side over here. And I'll make one for the passenger side, and I'll start getting the ends piece. Well, I'll cut this off like it's got to come around here, so I'll cut it about here. Looks like I have to order more of this before I can make the back brake lines up. Yeah, so I've got most of the fittings on. 3/8 24 and long fittings it needs. Then this end here I haven't done yet, so you put the pipe in, pointing with the camera. Put the pipe into here, then you put this the right size die in here. In this case here it's DIN 7/16 DIN or something like that, or it's the same for metric size, 4.75 metric size. Anyhow, but 7/16 DIN, and then you put it in, give it a little bit of a tight here, not too tight, and then press that operation 0, and that makes everything flush on the die. Then you turn it around to operation 1, and now you pull it towards you tight. But I have to, well, I'll just see if I can put you down here somewhere. See this happening, major happening here. That die now has got a pointy thing on it. It'll go through there. I have to hold the vise with one hand and this with the other hand and pull it tight like that. Then you take it out of the contraption and you have a bubble flare, just like that. That one there didn't come out just perfect. I'm going to do that again. So I'll just cut it off and do it again. Hang on. Yeah, so I've got this little tiny cutter which actually works pretty nicely. I'll just cut the end off of here. Makes it about a 1/2 inch shorter, but I usually leave lots of room on there just because things like this happen. So put it in again. Put this to operation 0 on here. Every other one worked out fine, except for this one that I was trying to show you on, because I think it was because I was trying to show you on it, right? So there, move that to operation 0 and just push it through with operation 0. And that flattens it out here against the die back here and against the die back up there. Then give it a good tight. Turn it to operation 1. And 1 is done, we hope. Which way's off? This way here's off. That's much better. It had sort of a doubled in there. That's a nice flare. Okay, so now it's quitting time. So I'll leave this until tomorrow, and we'll get the brake lines on. Then we'll see about bleeding them up and go from there. Oh. Alrighty, here I am back at it here. So I put the battery tray back in, and so I can get that looked after there. Put a new cable on the positive side, which is now a red cable instead of a black cable, and then hooked up the wires where they're supposed to be for now. This cable here I'll likely replace at some time in the future, but not yet. Now the next thing I want to do is to just thinking to myself, what I might do with this cable is run it over to here somewhere. Put it on the wall like that, right there, and then run a better cable over to the negative side. That way that'll get that out of the way of the fan and everything like that. And maybe I'll be able to put a ground down to the actual car. Because I don't know if there's a ground strap to the car at all somewhere. So that could be a thing I could do. Yeah, run a ground strap over to here. Somewhere in here. Here. This ground strap over there, and then another cable from there to there and there. And then a cable from this cable here I can leave, because I'll just put it on, and then a cable from there. This will go to the ground strap, then this will another cable up to the top, which I have made over here somewhere. I have a cable, I had it. Oh well, there it is right there. That'll be fine. That's what I'll do. Okay, I'll figure that out soon, but not right away. On Super Minx. And Minx, way back in the 60s and 70s, would be a slang word for a saucy girl. So I guess this thing is a bit of a, well, maybe it'll be saucy here one of these days. Not too saucy yet. Anyway, we'll work on it. Thanks, Danielle. Yeah, here we go. I'm getting the flexi hose in here. How come that's stray light from up there, eh? Okay, I'll look this way. Stray light from over here. Boy, oh boy. I think that the lens needs cleaning. Hang on. Yeah, now I left my wrench somewhere. How come I can have something in my hand 1 second and a minute later it's gone? Wait a minute or two. This is the flexi hose going on right here. And it's got a copper washer on the back of it. It's a flat fit, so I put a copper washer on just for a sealant, and it's 5/8 inch. So you hook it on here first, because once it's in there, then it's a solid mount sort of thing. So I'll hook it in there second. What'll I do? I think I'll get the wire copper onto it first, and then I'll hook it into its spot there. We'll just hang on a minute. I'll see what I can come up with.
Yeah, so I've made, this is the curve that I want. Oh, for this part of the pipe here, about that curve, right? So that comes up to this end of it, right? Make sure I have that on the right side of it. About there. So I want the curve to start about here and go around that thing, right? Something like that. That's going to come down on top of the, like that'll come through the body and then down on top of the, where am I? Down on top of the, whatever you call that thing, where the flexi line hooks up. The other end, anyway, we'll get that into place as we go along there. A couple of curves in there that I need to get done. This end here needs a tighter corner here, so I'll put a socket in there, and then turn it, and then this stuff turns pretty easy once it's in place. Hang on, I'll get that done. Now I'm at the other end, and this one here has got to be curving starting about there, right? Going that way. See if I can get that done. Right about there. Oops. And that goes right into, like, I think it's got to be something like that to go into the up above. Here I am pointing way up there, pointing way up there to the car. So it's got to go in way in the back there where the brake junction is, that T junction is. Anyhow, I'll see if I can get this into the underneath of the car, and I'll show you what it looks like.
Yeah, so I put the flexi hose in there with the bolt on it, holding it tight here. Enough light there, yeah.
And I'll show you what it looks like on the other, like on the one that's out here. Here's the hardware that goes with it. This piece here goes over the framework of the car, and it goes on here and it captures, oops, captures indeed, captures that nut there. Then that washer here goes on. Did I put that on? I don't remember. I must have. And then that goes on top of that. That's how that sits in there. Then the brake line goes into here. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, so there's flexi hose on passenger side, and that all put together, and now I gotta hook them on up above there. Looks like a little bit of welding required right there. Not really too serious because it's mostly just that's welded, rusted away. The frame is okay. Anyway, I'll get to that someday. We don't know when, but someday. Okay, I'll let it down and see what I can do about hooking the top stuff up.
Yeah, so it didn't go exactly as I intended, but they're on there, and I got this fuel line underneath. So that's the one to the, oh, what side does that go to? That goes to the passenger side, that goes to the driver's side. That one goes to the back, which I'll address when I get some more pipe. And these are the wires for it that go here. One of these days I'll check them out and see if they actually work. See if it actually has brake lights. Otherwise, I think all the wires are, I wonder where that went. Oh, that went on here. Wonder where that went. No. That one here goes to here. This green wire goes to here. You know, green wires everywhere. That's what you gotta have. There. Yeah, that's right. Then this is the hot wire coming in. This one here. That wire is the signal wire for the starter. This wire here got bent all out of shape. I'm gonna put a different end on that because that's a really poor end. Okay, I'll do that. Same with that one. That's a poor end. Okay.
Yeah, okay, now I have my power bleeder on it, up there, and let's see what happens here if I get some. They say that you go to the farthest one away first, but this one, you know, even though it's right below the master cylinder, it has to go to the far wall. Oops, the far wall over there, and then back again. So it's really the farthest one away, line-wise. Oh, there's a whole bunch of yucky stuff going through. More yuck. Wait till we get some clearer stuff going through. And what the hell, that thing's spitting out the top there. How come? Oh, this is oh, what a way I make a mess. Always I make a mess. Hang on. I had the input. Well, there. I had the input into the wrong side. Let's see what I can get out of it here. That looks like some clearer stuff coming through there now. A little bit of bubbles and yuck. More bubbles. I think I'm into the good stuff now. Okay, we'll go to the other side and see what we can do over there. Yeah, here we go, maybe. See what happens here. Yeah, there's a bunch of bubbles coming through. And fluid. This side here I must have cleaned out better than the other side, because that's the end of the bubbles and all the fluid's out of it there. So that'll be good. Okay, now I'll see what I can do about, see what the brake pedal feels like. The car down and I pumped up the brakes, and yeah, it certainly does have, the brakes come on and they release like that. That turns. Once it runs a bit, it'll clean off that rust and stuff. But it needs to be bled old-fashioned way, like the pump up the brake and do it over here. So I need another person for that. Anyway, but that's okay. Pretty good. No leaks anywhere that I see, so that's good that way. And the master cylinder may need some, you know, maybe it's suspect, or maybe I have to have the pole a little bit longer or push a little bit longer. Who knows? Anyway, that's where it is standing today. We'll just let it down and have a look at the inside again. Time to hook on the drive shaft again. So I gave this the well, that's a better call. Wouldn't that be? Yeah, so I was gonna go and put this on, but I'll let that dry for another couple of minutes. And I ordered some new studs for it. There was this stud here, one was missing, and this one here was a little bit suspect, like it's worn in here. So I put got 2 new studs here. I've got another 2, comes in a package of 4, plus I got 4 new wheel bolts, wheel nuts for it. And they're 19 or 3/4. Anyhow, I'll wind those in, I hope. Yeah, nothing so simple. It's the right size stud, but the wrong size shoulder. So see, this one here is the shoulder is that size. So I'll have to drill out, this is 1/2 inch here, and whatever that is here. So I'll drill it out to this size, and then I'll put the 1/2 inch through and drill out the 1/2 inch. See if I can do that. Oh, nothing's easy. But now I'll go back to mission number 1, which was putting on the drive shaft. Worry about mission number 2 here later. There's 2 studs on it. What the hell? Yeah, there. That's drive shaft on. There's a bit of slack in there. Now I did mark that white mark there, but then I painted over the white mark there, so who knows where it would have been. I'm sure there was a white mark there somewhere, either there or there. Anyway, that's where we are today. So the you put this this sort of U-joint thing onto the drive shaft first, and then onto here, because these bolts slide in from that side, and then it'll all go together pretty easy. There's a little bit of backlash on that, so someday it'll require a differential service, but not right away. Now, where am I here? Should I start it up and see if the gears work? It's pretty near quitting time, 5:15. But I could start it up and see if any gears work. That'd be interesting. Okay. So this is the brake light thing, right? I'll just see if it gets if the brake lights work on the one side. Everything seems to work on. Oh yeah, there. Yeah, it's got brake lights. And I know that the flashers were working and the parking lights are working on that side. So the circuits are good back to here anyhow. Isn't that interesting? Okay, now maybe we'll see if we can get it started up. I'll just pull this off here because we don't need brake lights right now. We'll figure it out soon. Okay, there it's running. Okay, it's running and it seems to be pumping fuel okay. Got that down there. Make sure I've got that loosened off a bit. Yep. That air through. Now, you need to go up just a bit off the ground. Looks like there's stuff going through the transmission there. I don't have any brakes. So we'll just... You watch that wheel, and both wheels are turning. Oh yeah, here's a special upgrade here. We got a bucket seat. Okay, you watch that wheel, and I'll yell at you what's going on. really are, because I think that the adjustment needs to be set up on them a little bit to make it right, but they seem to work. Well, reverse works, the forward works. I think I've got high gear. I'm not really sure what gears I have there. But the bucket seat is pretty damn comfy. And it seems to be sucking fuel all right out of the fuel pump. See if the temperature gauge is moving. Yeah, the temperature gauge is going up. Ammeter gauge, I have to do it, turn it around the other way. And the speedometer was working when I had it in gear. So, that's cool. I'll show you. I'll get on my very comfortable bucket seat here. There it goes. We're traveling. Can you see that? Yeah. Traveling at high speed. Clutch works. Okay, well that's good. I think we're done for the day. Oh boy, that comfortable seat is, well, it needs some adjustment, eh? It should be up a bit higher. Anyway, got that idea from there's a guy on the YouTube, and he's called, what's he called? Calls himself Low Budget Garage, and he's actually pretty funny, and he uses bucket seats often. So, raining as usual around here, but that's okay. Now, I think I'll close this one off here, because the well, it's long enough already. Long enough. So we got brakes in the front. Well, sort of. I know there are no leaking lines anywhere, and so that seems to be okay. This is smoking out of there a little bit. So we got gear shift works. That's okay. I think most of the time was just spent on brakes, wasn't it? Anyhow, but we have brakes in the front, and we have gear shifts, like drive shaft, gear shift. So it's possible to drive it now. So, and I'm not going to take it out in the pouring rain. But next Wednesday is supposed to be fairly dry. So if it ever stops raining, I'll go and take it for a ride. And I sort of painted up inside here so that it would look okay and wouldn't get rusty in there as soon as it's putting the battery in and get everything in the way. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it all. And I know I did. So come on back for more. There will be more. Yeah, I'm on the phone today for a camera. I left the other one at home. Is that recording? Yeah, it is. There's Buster and I. It's a blustery day today down at the beach. And raining. You can see rain all over the... Tide's not high yet. On the way in. See what's going on with the waves. Oh, not too bad. I thought there'd be more waves than there is, but anyway, time to get out of the rain.